I forgot to hit record. So we can actually ignore all of that nonsense that I just went down and just get right to the meat and potatoes of latex printing.
Great.
Because in reality, it's all based around a thermal print head. It's water-based inks, our print heads, 12 picoliter drop, 1200 DPI. Everything is user replaceable. They're very durable. They're easy to replace. You can half an hour and you're up and running again. In the US, they're about $135 a piece. So if you replace a print head, you take it out, pull the little lever. It's just like a desktop printer, only bigger. Take it out, put a new one in, close the lid. It does all the alignments. You're up and running in about a half an hour. Okay, inexpensive, water-based, no hazardous air particles, harmful VOCs. I'm running this with no ventilation in my own studio. It's no issue whatsoever. I don't have any fumes, any smells. I have just a couple little circulatory fans just to move some air around the room. I run this when it's hot outside, so I have air conditioning in here. I don't want to have to lift up the door, and I don't want to have to punch a hole to put in some kind of air scrubber. So good for you, good for the planet, good for the environment, good for you, good for your workers, good for the people that have to be around this thing all day in a closed space. User replaceable print heads, water-based, outdoor durable, easy to replace, inexpensive. That's our business model. As long as this print head is functional, you will get the same quality on all speeds that you got from day one. This printer behind me is 4 years old. It is technically a 360, has the upgrade, so it functions just like a 365, and there's nothing wrong with it. Not a trace. Runs just like it did the day it came in here. It's a perfect printer. It's been running perfectly for 4 years. I don't run it all the time, but that's one of the beauties of latex is if you don't run all the time, let's say around Thanksgiving, I'm going to take a week off. I could come down here after a week of not running and it would run just like the day I left it. I have 7 printers in our demo facility down the road. All of them have sat virtually since March. I have not replaced a print head. Everything is working perfectly. I was in there this morning. I ran a few jobs. I might not run a few jobs for a couple weeks. It's not a problem. Some of them sat for a couple months unplugged. No issues. Very different technology than solvent. Very different technology than piezo print heads. Piezo and solvent, completely different animal. You're evaporating solvent. Solvent is what you use. It's not water-based. You also use a print head that is expensive and generally is only expert replaceable. So someone has to come out, put new print heads in, and that's when you get the bill for print head replacement, which can be thousands and thousands of dollars. Ours is $135, and you can have an extra set sitting on your shelf. Technically, there's no such thing as latex. We called it latex because we had to have a name because synthetic resin copolymer, it's just not marketable. So we called it latex. It's a resin copolymer printer. It's water, humectants, pigments, synthetic resin copolymer. The way it works is I have a print right behind me here. You can't see it because I'll have to roll it down a little bit. The way it works is I just printed this. It's the first print I've run of the day. I don't have any test prints. I don't have test charts. They're not necessary. I roll it forward. I'm printing on an adhesive vinyl. This is going to be put into a print and cut application. I have my nice barcodes on it. Everything on here is dry. It's always dry. It's completely ready to go. I can laminate it, no wait, no time, no gas off. I can install it, I can cut it. I can do anything I want with it because it's completely dry latex technology. The way it sort of works is you print it. These convection heaters, they only take about 45 seconds to come to temperature. They evaporate the water. It activates the latex or the synthetic resin copolymer, and you're in business. The hallmark of latex, among many other things, outstanding resolution, 1200 DPI, fast or slow, excellent drop size, small 12 picoliter drop, great saturation, scratch and scuff resistance, best in the industry, no lamination. I would say I laminate only vehicle wraps, vehicle decals that are long-term on a vehicle, floor graphics, but only if it's going to be really long-term and you're going to have a anti-slip surface to it. To give you an example, this is a Jessup Tex Walk. It is not laminated. It's a textured floor surface. You're seeing more and more of that. Print directly to it. It's been up here for about 5 months. These are what look like rugs. They're not rugs. It's cheap pieces of foam. I stuck a matte vinyl on it, an Avery 2903, squeegeed it down. I walk on them all day long. Roll machines across them, everything else. There's not a scratch on them. It's because the latex scratch and scuff resistance is industry world class. It's outstanding. It's so good, in fact, that I can print on certain applications. I'll give you one. This is a wall covering. You have all kinds of wall films, wall coverings. We print on all of them. If it goes on a wall, whether it's paste, self-paste, industrial paste, commercial paste, peel and stick, all of it. This particular product was even tested to meet type 2 expectations with no lamination. That is, print to the HP durable smooth or durable suede wall covering, put it up on the wall, it's paste, you'll hire a group of people to put it up, and then we had that tested to meet type 2 applications or type 2 expectations without any lamination. Type 2 is ketchup and mustard and coffee and tea and scratch and scuff and a whole bunch of chemicals and cleaners. Nobody has type 2 except us with no lamination. Almost everyone else has to liquid or film laminate. We took that right out on that product because our scratch and scuff resistance, our cleaning resistance, our resistance to whatever you throw at it is that good. And that's one of the big advantages. If I can skip the whole lamination process, baby, I do it. That's time and money and effort, and I goof up the lamination every time. So I don't have a laminator in here. Everything that I have on the walls and floors and everything, unlaminated. So it does give you some real options to run an unlaminated workflow. Also, very big key with latex. The 365 and the 500 series, all of our printers use a tool to be able to do their own internal color calibrations, which is very important for color consistency. The 365, which I have here in the 500 series, in addition, has a full I1 spectrophotometer. That's the only little tool that's not ours. So we got with I1 and we said, hey, we want to put an I1 on here, but we have all our own color work. You know, we have our color chemistry, we have our color software, it's all built in. It's on the solid state hard drive, but we need to have a tool to read all of the charts that we create. This is a closed loop calibration chart, and on the bottom is a ICC chart, a profile, if you will. So on this printer, you can build your own print modes and your own profiles. Just by, as we say here, I'm just north of Atlanta, by the way, we mash the button. So you mash the button and then you mash the button again. It prints 2 charts and it reads them. You don't have to do a thing. This, for example, this particular vinyl, I downloaded it from our media locator. And then if I choose to create more print modes than what are provided, faster and slower with more or less ink, easy. Press the button, tell it 12 pass, 120%, print a closed loop color calibration, print the ICC profile. So it has, as far as I know, we're like the only company that has full built-in color profiling capability right on the printer, because you have to invent the software along with the spectrophotometer. Just having a spectrophotometer doesn't do you any good if you don't have the team of color scientists to write the software. And HP is a global printing dominant company, so we have all those people. They know how to make that software. That's really key to color consistency. It's key to be able to print on anything you want to, which is one of the real virtues of latex. It's versatility. When we say versatility, we mean I can print on fabric, polyester, coated, uncoated, natural fibers, linens, cottons. I can print on backlit fabric. I can print on window block shades, all types of canvases. I can print on scrim banner. I can print on blockout scrim banner. I can print on PET. I can print on PVC. I can print on polyurethane. I can print double-sided through an automatic double-sided workflow. I can print on every type of adhesive vinyl, every type of window clear film, window perfs. I can print on static cling. I can print on all kinds of papers, thick and thin. I can print on coated papers, uncoated papers, El Cheapo bond papers. All of it is fair game. The versatility, the things that you can print on with latex is the best in the industry. We have the broadest working portfolio, and things don't look, like we can barely print on it either. I mean, this is us on fabric with silicon edge graphics in a invisible edge frame. We compete very favorably actually with dye sublimation, but with a direct print and no need to do a calendaring. We print right on the same types of fabric that dye sub uses. So we have this huge portfolio, and that's one of the real virtues of what latex can do. It's also very easy to use. It is a front-loading printer. I'm going to roll this back a bit so you can kind of see what I'm up to. Oh, the heavy bag. That's going to come up sooner or later. It's really simple. I believe in exercise, but not too much exercise or the wrong kind of exercise. So I'll hit the bag, but I don't want to have to lift the bag up all the time and take it off and put it up again, because when you do a couple of these a day, this 125-pound bag gets kind of heavy and awkward. And then it's hard because the chains all fall down. So I thought, well, what can I do to keep it there and not have it look ridiculous in the middle of my presentation? I thought, if you stick an HP logo, then it becomes, in marketing parlance, collateral. So it is no longer a heavy bag, it is marketing collateral. So as marketing collateral, it can just sit in the middle of the room and be something of an obstructionist eyesore. But it has the HP logo, so that's what counts. You also see behind me here, that's Bill and Dave, our founders, arguably the inventors of Silicon Valley. I think you could easily make that claim. The garage is a National Historic Site. If you get a chance, look it up. Remarkable book of theirs too, The HP Way, also highly recommended. What I have here is a Latex 360, or if you will, 365. It sits right in the middle point. And then I also paired this up with a nice 54-inch cutter. Normally you'd pair it with a 64-inch cutter, but I'm a little short on space. This is what we call our print and cut workflow, but mostly I'm going to discuss the latex technology more than any other thing, but I just want to be aware kind of what I have going on back here. And I'll have another camera that I can zoom in when it's running. The printer is a front loader, so you can push it up against the wall. That's very nice on saving space. Put the roll here, lift it up, drop it in. Holds about 100 pounds, a little over. I've run 107-pound rolls. It has a 3-inch aluminum thin spindles. It's very easy to load and use. It has a nice big touch screen on the front. You feed the media in this case, I have adhesive vinyl on there. Has an inline cutter. In a second, I'll use the cutter and we'll get a nice straight cut, and then I'll bring it over to the HP Suma powered cutter. It also comes in this particular case with platen covers, or excuse me, ink collectors. Platen covers are a little something different. They come with it too. The ink collectors, there's 2 of these. So if you're going to run mesh, no liner, fabric that has holes in it, porous fabric like flag banner, anything where the ink goes through, you put a couple of these in. It takes about 30 seconds. The printer knows that you've done this, and you are good to go. So then I can run 328 Ultraflex mesh all day long. I don't have to buy linered mesh. The ink collectors take the residual ink. When the ink collectors get full of ink, you just replace them with new little foam pads. It's a very simple process. So we thought through that. We also thought through a very fair way to understand consumables. So ink, generally speaking, comes in 775 milliliter boxes. Nice big boxes. Unless you get the 570, which in addition also has 3 liters plus that. And the 3-liter big boxes are hot swappable. The rule with ink at HP is simple. The bigger the box, the less it costs per liter. So you reduce your costs about 25% when you go to the larger box, and it's virtually impossible to run out. Then we have the print head. We know the print head has a life on it. I think it's a good long life, but it has a life. And this costs $135. So we have a formula to say ink plus the life of the print head plus the maintenance cartridge. It's a capping station and a wiping station, and you get a little bit of ink in the bottom of this over time. It's about 1% or so of overall ink usage. It's very small, but it's in there. We account for that. We also account for the fact that you have to replace it every 14 liters. So when we give you a price, it's 21 cents a square foot, ink, print head, cleaning cartridge. We don't pretend that there's no print head that gets replaced. We don't pretend the cleaning cartridge isn't part of it. It's all part of the package. It's a consumable price. Most of my competitors, they only quote you ink, just ink. Not the big container of waste ink that it generates, not the cost of the print heads 3 years from now when you have to replace them and it's thousands of dollars. They pretend that doesn't exist. It's not fair. It is a consumable. It's a consumable that gets replaced at a longer arc than latex print heads, but it is nonetheless a consumable and an expensive one. Ours are all built in. And I'm going to show you a little bit of piece of software that calculates the cost of every job you run down to the last drop of ink, no estimator. It's our software, and it adds the media you used. And when I calculate the ink, it's ink, print heads, and cleaning cartridge. It's all consumable price. 21 cents a square foot, 100% coverage. Reduce that about 25%, 17 cents a square foot if you're running the 570. Very, very straightforward in my opinion. And I like that. There's a transparency to it. Not only am I giving what I think is a fair price, but I have transparency in software that can show you every job you run and say exactly what it costs. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to use this, just there's the math, there's the transparency, there's the program, there's the accountability. All of the printers have a nifty thing called an OMAS. OMAS is a patented thing from HP. What it does is when you load media, it rolls it forward and you don't have to do a step alignment. It does it all for you. It's all automatic. It also works so that we can do double-sided printing. So you print side A, and then it prints side B. I even have two different images. Double-sided printing is available on the 365 and the 500 series. So if you want to do double-sided printing banners, it'll save you a lot of money having to print two things and then weld or sew them together with a blockout. Just get a blockout double-sided, print side A, print side B. It's all automated. It's very easy. The printer creates registration marks. And this little tool, which sits right on the base of the platen, it identifies them. It can read the registration marks. Now you know where you are. And once you know where you are, we know where to put the other image. It's extremely easy to do. We have some other cool features. I feel like a prop comic sometimes, except I'm not funny, but I do have props. So I'm a prop narrator. Anyway, optical drop detector. This checks the nozzles continuously. When the printer comes out of hibernation, which it just did about half an hour ago, optical drop detector gets woken up and it checks all the nozzles on the print head to establish that all the nozzles are okay. If nozzle number 365 did not respond, it will automatically try again, and then it will replace it with nozzle 372. And I don't have anything to do with it. It's all done in the background. It's all mapped out automatically. and our engineering team built this. It will do this check throughout the course of the day. It is a periodic function of checking the nozzle and determining that you don't have any form of banding. With other printers, when you run your first job, you know you have banding. Well, when you get to the part where the nozzles are out in a particular color, usually it's cyan, and then you're printing magenta, red, and yellow for a while, and then about 6 feet in, you go, oh no, stop the job. So with this, it checks all of the print heads in advance, and if it had enough nozzles out that it couldn't replace, it will say, hey, bub, you're missing nozzles. You have an image quality problem. We already know that. Are you sure you want to run this? Why don't you stop it and then do a cleaning and then run it again? And then we won't throw you that message. Or maybe your print head is old enough and you just replace the print head and put another one in. It's gotten its use. You ran a nice long life out of it. Print head isn't going to be reclaimed, but usually you try to clean it off first. Maybe you just got a hair on it or something, a little piece of fiber. So that is, I think, the extent of my props. Print head, cleaning cartridge, optical drop detector, the OMOS that does your step alignment and then doubles for double-sided, the ink collectors which allow you to print on porous material. I'm going to move a little bit to the software because depending which printer arrangement you buy, we support a number of different RIPs. The three primary are Flexi, Caldera, and Onyx. I have Onyx and Flexi here. Onyx, been around forever, global company, very big name, excellent, works flawlessly with the latex. We also have Flexi, equally true, large global international company. Flexi has a print and cut version, so if you need a cutter, it can be bundled together with that, and it's a seamless link and arrangement. The version of Flexi also has Flexi Designer that comes with it. So it's a very robust version of Flexi along with the design software. In addition, if you just got a 315, 335, 365, we have versions of Flexi that just ship with the printer independent of the cutter. So some of the printers will also bundle. If you just bought the printer, we make sure that you have the software to be able to run that printer right in the box. If you already have software, great. If you have Onyx, all you have to do is get the printer, it'll plug right in seamlessly. So those are the three primary RIP partners. Everything that runs with a latex printer has to run through a RIP software. If you're not familiar with RIP software, take the time to look up Onyx or Flexi, SAI Flexi or Caldera, and you'll see how that whole system works. Really, at some point, if you're not using it, it is necessary to use a RIP to print with large format digital printing. There's really no other way to do it. You can't really print out of Adobe very well. You can't use all these sort of rudimentary workaround systems. A true devoted RIP is largely essential for control of image, control of color, and everything else. HP also has our own software which supports all of these printers, and it's called PrintOS. PrintOS is like Google Apps or like Microsoft Office 365. It is cloud-based. It runs on Android, Apple, tablets, PCs, unified platform. So I can monitor, for example, with a feature in it called PrintBeat, I can monitor my printer sitting upstairs on the phone. I don't have to be watching the printer. The printer is designed to run and run unattended, and we even have software that will monitor it and will keep track of every job that's going on, all the ink, everything. I can also use the front panel, and I can download media. We call them presets, but you probably think of them like profiles. I can download the media profile of almost any media out there. Avery, no problem. We have 44 medias for Avery certified for that printer. And I'll show you in a second. It's very easy to get them. And once I find them, I just go to the front panel and download it right on the printer. Once it's on the printer, the RIP connects to it automatically and says, I know what media you have on there, and it knows what to do. It's an extremely easy process in which we're giving you support and color work and all the settings for currently what I think is 1,147 individual medias for this printer. There's never been a library built like that for third-party media. They're what we call certified medias. It means that HP has evaluated the media. We said this works. We give it a stamp of approval. We put it on the media locator, and then you can download it also right from the front panel of your printer. The media locator is part of PrintOS. Just open it right up and go right to it. So without further ado, I'm going to switch over here. I have another camera here going, and I'm going to give you a brief little tour of the software. And then I'm going to show you some of the things you can print with it. Share screen. Whoops. I don't want to share you my email. There's no value in that. So this is PrintOS. It's the landing page. PrintOS comes with it. It's completely free. Everything I'm going to show you comes with it. There's no after charges or other expenses or hidden costs. These are all the printers in our demo center, for example. They're all in there. That's just a small sliver. And then PrintOS also has the media locator. This is the interface. Over here is where you have the drop down of all the different features. And I've limited them a little bit because I only keep it to the ones I use most. So for example, here's the media locator. That's it. So then you go to Latex. And I'm showing you this because it's really important. If you're going to use a Latex and you're going to take advantage of our huge breadth of applications, you're going to want to be familiar with the media locator. So first, what you want to do is click filter, and you want to look to get rid of things that don't pertain to this printer. So we got a 365, we're going to hit apply. And we have 1,145. I'm sorry, I was off by 2. Maybe they were rescinded. This is how many medias are on there, page after page after page. And if you want to look by manufacturer, these are all the manufacturers. I mean, it's everybody. Everything is in there that's available for this printer. So if you're looking for things, it'll definitely help, if you're new especially, to just go in here and say, Avery Dennison, I want to look at some Avery Dennison media, wall coverings, floor graphics, window films. You see there's 44 of them, and they are all certified. And you just go page after page. So that's a wall film that I use all the time. You can download them from here and then put them right in. This is called the embedded web server. It connects back and forth from the printer to an accounting software, among many other functions. So if you download it, you just go to setup over here, substrate preset management, and import and export. This is also cool in that I make stuff here. Like that floor graphic I was standing on earlier, I made that on the printer. I can take this and I can export it and I can share it with anyone else. There's a lot of online sharing groups and whatnot that build presets on these printers and then share them with other people. A lot of my manufacturing partners, like Dreamscape, the big wall covering, they have Latex printers. And they load all their wall covering on and build their own custom profiles and share them with all their customers because it's so easy to build your own stuff. And then you can share it with anyone that has a 300 series printer. So import and export is very nice. Also, check this out. Main, accounting. This is what I was referring to. Every job I run, I take all my media and I say it's 54 inches, 150 feet, and then how much it costs. Over here, I do 135 for the ink, plus 20 for the life of the print head, plus 10, 165. That's a very fair consumable price. Now when I print a job, anything that goes through this printer, it automatically tells me that the fruit circle I just printed was $2.61 for media and ink consumables. It's 74 cents in ink, print head, and the And the cleaning cartridge, it's $1.87. In the media, it's $2.61 total, 5.5. You want to export this to Excel, you can then download it, send it over to an Excel, and then you can break this whole thing down. So every job I run has a cost, has an ink use, and it is perfectly tracked so that you can keep track of what it costs to do things. A very helpful piece of software. Not an estimator, as companies traditionally do. You know, Onyx will do an estimation. This is really the real numbers that it costs to do stuff. The PrintOS has additional features, like if you wanted to use the media locator, watch this. Let's say I told you about heat transfer film. I do a lot of t-shirts. Don't tell anyone because I don't want to print them for them. But you do printer models. Let's get rid of manufacturer, and we're going to search a little differently. We'll go applications, scroll down, look at them all. These are different applications you can do with latex. And when you click on it, like heat transfer, it's going to show me, let's go to page 1, a whole bunch of media that we have certified. Like I use this Turbo Print 4036 by Polytape all the time. Caesar, Polytape, Chemica, they're all on here. So I can go right to the printer, download this, get the roll, put it on there, hit color calibrate, and I'm good to go. And then you would say, well, okay, fine, I printed on it, but I don't know how to do a t-shirt. Well, we have another software for that. It's called the Knowledge Center. Knowledge Center is all the information we know, we put it in one spot. There's a forum in English and Spanish. Ask questions there. It's a much better place to ask questions than say Signs 101. Information on all our different printers. So if you want to know the difference between 360 and print and cut and all that, it's all right here. These are all latex. Latex flatbed, industrial latex, little latex. Then we have applications. We are very applications focused, and we are very COVID applications focused at the moment. We have our own category for it. But we're on heat transfer. That's under apparel. Click apparel, scroll down. We have a cookbook. So we are fond of cookbooks. A cookbook is, I don't know how to make a cookie, but if you follow this instruction and you buy these 6 ingredients, you can make a cookie. So there's a cookbook, there's proof of concept, there's the PDF. It explains what you can do. There's all the specifics in terms of its washability, testing. Here's all the media, all on the media locator. Here's my media, Polytape Turbo Print 4036. It uses a 45-degree blade for the cutter. The temperature that I do a heat transfer should be 302 degrees Fahrenheit, and it takes 10 seconds on the heat press. And then it walks you through all the simple steps on how to do a transfer to make a t-shirt. So we're giving you certified media, making it available to download. We're giving you a color calibration tool of an I1 right on the printer. We have a walkthrough with all of the specifications and a clear explanation in sequence of how to build a t-shirt. This is how we like to do business. You use the Knowledge Center for all this stuff. We also have a blog with a whole bunch of information and training and ideas and videos. We have a thing called HP Protagonist. I have to tell you, I don't know what that is. I'm more of an antagonist by nature, but I guess this is where the protagonists hang out. But it has a lot of ideas and a lot of companies that have used it successfully to do different projects. And this is called the Knowledge Center. It is part of the PrintOS. PrintOS also has what's this here. This is Application Center. Application Center is you go online, you create your own content, you can put your own customers in there, and then you choose as a print service provider what you want to support. So t-shirts, vehicle stickers, sweatshirts, roll-ups, window graphics. Right now, posters are kind of big, right? People are doing a lot of posters. Click on poster. it's going to walk you through the steps. So this is what your customer would do, right? Your customer is kind of locked in. This links to your website. Nice hyperlink, WordPress. You can even be WooCommerce hooked up. So first you got to figure out what's the size of the poster. So it's doing the things that you would have to be on the phone with your customer with. But if your customer has access to your website, whoops, posters are generally portrait. So that looks right. That's the size they want. Tutorial. First thing you notice, COVID. Almost every COVID sign that's ever been made is on here. So chances are, if they're looking for certain signs, so let's say they have an elevator and they want to limit the number of people to an elevator and they need to put these signs up. You could do this as a poster, or you could do this as a removable adhesive graphic would probably be a better choice, but I'm in the poster workflow. But same idea over there too. You scroll down, and what we're going to look for is there we go. There's my elevator. There's a few of them. It's going to adjust the page a little bit. What you're going to notice here is this is all editable. Okay, so if they don't want 4 people, they have small elevators. Update. It's 3 people. And maybe it's a university and they want their logo on everything. That's completely understandable. So I created a folder actually for a local university, Utah State University, and I took their logos and put them in there. And now I can scale them. So your customer can do this. All right, this is not hard. I want my logo there. Okay, great. And I want 3 people there. So you can actually move it around and duplicate him, change the color, whatever you want to do. It's a very simple version of layout tool with photos, which can also go to online. You can download them from Dreamtime and stuff, text, objects. You can upload right from here. You can create their own content folders. And then when it's done, you've put in your paper costs. You have, let's say, Sill or Felix Scholler or HP or Kelly. Obviously, Kelly paper is where you want to go. If you get a chance, Kelly, I'm on the Spicer site, but you also have Kelly Paper has a really nice site. And they have all of their information about markets, info, so that you can definitely use their site to figure out what they carry, and then they can deliver that, and you can use it in conjunction with the HP Media Locator. Now from here, oh, Guillermo, I'm gonna let you in. You're gonna catch the tail end of it. So Application Center created this. It landed here. They would type this in. If you wanted 3 of them, it'll change the price. Your pricing will be based on what media you want to put in. I am very satisfied. There we go. Always very satisfied. Thank you. That's going to spin and it's going to drop. And all I got to do is hit refresh and it will be right there on the top. There's my job. I'm asleep, right? I'm not doing anything. And then this thing shows up and now it's not letting me in. I open it up. It's saying, is this right? And if I say yes, I approve the order, then what it's going to do is it's going to automatically download in there, and then the orders will be ready and it will give me my own PDF. I'll show you what that looks like. So some of these I approved. There we go. I approved this one. So if you click on it, there's the PDF for it. It gives me files and everything. Pricing, layouts, everything. All you have to do is look it over, make sure it's right, hit approve, PDF drops to you. You can even send installation instructions to your customer. That, in a nutshell, in a very small demo, is the Application Center. All that is part of PrintOS. So our software is pretty extensive. In addition, definitely utilize, if you want to know a little more about SAI Flexi and print and cut and everything, check their videos out. They're very, very good. And then also Onyx has their own videos. So they walk you through everything you need to know in Onyx. Again, very large partner. And then we have the HP videos. Go to HP support. Obviously, I can't cover everything in the time here. So you type in Latex in support. And when you do, you're going to get all of my 250 or so on every subject. If you want to know about fabric, if you want to know about wall covering, you want to know about tile printing, vehicle wraps, print and cut, floor graphics, window perf, PVC-free wallpaper, temperature-sensitive media, on-the-fly adjustments, you get the idea. So there's a ton of them on there. And that will help you definitely get a better idea. So between the HP videos and the Knowledge Center, anything you really want to know is in those two places. I mean, there's a lot of information, and we've been supporting latex now for a long time. So I'm going to back out of this, calling into the software. Oh, actually, since you're here, I'll go back in there real quick. This is Flexi. This is the designer. This is where I put all the cut contours on, you know. So you choose the image, you walk up here, and I say, I want to put a cut contour on it because I'm going to print and cut. There we go. That easy. If it were a raster image, I just select Mr. Terracotta Warrior here, go bitmap, make transparent, click the background. Look how easy this is. Dancing ants. Got to get a dancing ant in the middle. Hit OK. Look how fast this is too. Done, and the computer is a little bogged down. Effect, contour cut, with holes and everything. If I want, oh, I want it in. Okay, we don't want it out. I can make it smaller. Make it inside of the Terracotta Warrior. You get the idea. And then once you hit this, I can take that and bring it over, and now I'm in the RIP. Cool thing about the Plexi RIP, it is owned, it is upgradable, it is universal platform. It supports all kinds of things like Pantone colors, outside profiling, and there's my image. I have a fruit circle in this case. It has a perf and a kiss cut. And everything is set up, and all I got to do is hit send. Now I got to roll this forward a little bit. It's going to print right on top of the other one. And then once I send, you'll see that it's very fast, and it does not take long whatsoever for it to rip and print, because the printer's handling everything. We created a really nice solid state hard drive that's very good for both speed and durability, dependability. Much, much better than your typical old drive. So it's already done the ripping, and it's going to drop in and start the printing. I hear it warming up over there. I'm going to stop share because that's kind of the end of our software tour. And I'm going to spotlight this other video. So you should see a zoom in shot, right? Yes, you do. So I got the bag, I got the cutter, I got the printer, I got my faux carpet. See, this faux carpet's much more comfortable than carpet. And you know what it costs? Nothing. I mean, it's just junk. Something that came in a crate. I said, well, that's kind of soft. I bet I could just spray some isopropyl alcohol on it and put a high resolution file and stick it on there with a squeegee. So it's going to warm up. Once it reaches warm up temperature, the media runs anywhere from 160 degrees to 241 degrees, 220 or so being very common. So you get a little bit of a space heater in the winter. Doesn't put out a lot of heat. I normally, you know, I have a little fan here that I normally run. It's just been cooled off here, so I haven't really needed it. The fan is mostly to move the evaporation. In this case, this printer evaporates water. My competitors evaporate solvent. Breathing solvent all day. It's kind of like glue huffing, except, you know, a little more dignity to it. So I don't want to breathe solvent all day. Certainly not in this small room. Printer's cruising along. This is your pause button. If you need pause for any reason, all you have to do is lift this up. Printer will automatically go rest over there. If it was printing, you will not ever notice that it was missed a line or there was any bleeding, because we use a special technology in conjunction with our inks. It is called an optimizer. What the optimizer does, it has its own print head. It runs extremely little bits of it. And the optimizer attracts the ink, it pins it in place, and it allows me to print without having to evaporate in the print zone, run faster speeds, and nothing ever bleeds or coalesces while it's printing. This is a nice proofing light also, so I can see everything how it looks as it's printing. It's all perfect. Optical drop detection did its job. I have barcodes on there, which are going to be for the cutter so that we can integrate our print and cut and automate the whole process. We effectively took a design jet, modified it, invented a new ink, invented new print heads, and now we have outdoor durability. How durable? Don't let anyone tell you that because we're a water, I just had a call today. Well, it's a water-based ink, I'm concerned, I'm told by your competitors. All right, so here's my argument. 3M is the largest vehicle wrap manufacturer film in the world. 3M IJ180 with laminate. 3M has given us a 7-year warranty. 7 years. That's not our warranty, that's 3M's warranty. You do not have to wait to laminate. There's no gas off wait time. You can print, laminate, stick it on the vehicle, 7 years. That 7 years is how long it lasts without fading based upon 3M specifications in their advanced testing labs, which are very good. Most of my competitors have 5 years. My question is this. If the water-based ink is so inferior to solvent, how come printing on the same material with the same laminate with an independent testing from a third party puts you 2 years behind me? Case closed. Apples to apples, we last longer outside in the sunlight than solvent does. Certainly the, quote, eco-solvent, which does not mean ecological, by the way, it means economy. There's nothing ecological about solvent printing. It's practically banned in large parts of the world. So this comes off the front. It's all dry. It's all ready to go. It's not tacky. It's not sticky. I can go to a take-up roll if I choose. I have a little space between it because I rolled it forward and didn't quite get it tight enough, but normally you can make those real tight to each other. And down it goes. Anything longer, I would put it on a take-up reel. I'm going to switch to the main camera here, give you a last momentary brief tour of all you can print on, because I think it's really important to know just how many things you can do with this. And this is just a brief survey. So all of your cast vinyls, Avery, Arlon, Hexus, 3M, Orifol, all your cast vinyls, vehicle wraps, everything, we're going to have the same types of warranties. Long-term, very high quality, excellent color. Then we have all of your standard cheapo vinyls and polymeric vinyls and wall films and floor films and all of that, primarily around print and cut. And we support hipsters. No, we don't. We try to actually keep them away. So we make signs so that, you know, like no parking. And I do all these with industrial grade engineering, high intensity prismatics, highway signage, you know, outdoor reflective signage. I have all of that engineering grade on all my kayaks. So I have a lake near me called Lake Lanier, and it's filled with people in pontoon boats who drink. I mean, it's just a zoo. So if you're going to be on there, you got to have some visibility. And if it gets a little darker, it's early in the morning, you know, they get up and drink beer early on the pontoon boats. So I have all that reflective around the kayaks so that when they have their single working light, I shine across the lake. I have flags and everything else. Heat transfer film. Print it, transfer it, make your t-shirts. Every conceivable type of fabric, every conceivable type of banner, natural fabrics, linen, cotton, jute, all of these latex, all of them certified. All of these also through a process of heat calendaring can also be made to have limited washability. You can make home decor. window blinds, throw pillows, bags, drapes, tapestries. I have a giant, it's 17 feet by 8 feet tapestry hanging from the fireplace. Huge. Looks great. Definitely a statement piece when you walk in. All your wall films, all your wall covering, HP, Dreamscape, Core Graphics, non-wovens, very good on paper-based products, all of your textured floor films, window films like dry tack, paper of every kind, cheapo paper, wrapping paper. This is spot on. These are all white and clear kind of suction cup window films. I do a lot with general formulation static cling, more double-sided. Oh, all kinds of weirdo, environmentally friendly, like Tyvek, like uncoated regular old Tyvek. Almost their entire portfolio is in there. Dixon, PVC-free wallpaper. This is also really good for roll-up banners. You have your gray back there. And then we have things like 100% recycled from water bottles. Keep in mind, HP ink, super environmentally friendly, super green, sustainable. We pair this with Green Guard certified materials. We pair this with Forest Stewardship Council materials. We have always been the environmentally friendly ink technology, and it pairs beautifully with all of these environmentally friendly, PVC-free Forest Stewardship Council certified materials. We are always been Green Guard certified, and we're Green Guard Gold certified, which means you can print as much as you want on the wall. It's all going to be Green Guard certified. Not just little pieces of the wall, not one panel, the whole room, the whole hall and all the rooms in it. Canvas of every kind. I mean, gloss canvas, matte canvas, luster canvas, Aurora, Tara Fredericks, Breathing Color, Sill, Ultraflex, Berger, they're all in there. We probably have like 100 canvases to choose from. All of your Phototex, all of your Aurora taffeta, these are peel and stick wall coverings. Completely fair game. Avery, this is a textured peel and stick wall covering. Stucco peel and stick wall covering. Smooth, keep in mind, our scratch resistance is excellent. So this Avery 2611, I use that for all of our interior demo center, all of our trade shows, back when we had trade shows. And I don't use any laminate. I don't need to. Squeegee it down, do the show, peel it right back off when we're done. All kinds of peel and stick. HB has a really cool peel and stick wall covering. It has its own adhesive on it. So if you're a newbie to wall covering, great product for that. I got Dreamscape here. I have more fabric. This is called latex durable fabric. This has its own scuff and scratch resistance that's better than other fabrics, and we have a whole bunch of SKUs. I think there's about 40 latex durable fabrics that are on the media locator, and they look like that. Okay, solvent does not look like that on fabric. Not uncoated fabric, it doesn't. Solvent can barely print on something like this, which is solvent coated, and we print much better on that than solvent can. And we don't have any smell, okay? I just talked to a guy doing this big wall covering project, and he says, I can't use UV and I can't use solvent because when they take them out of the tube, it smells. And wall covering, you know, this is like a high-end residential thing. And the people complain immediately like, oh, the stink out of the box, how long that's going to be like that? Latex has no odor. So the whole home decor market, which is really an artsy-fartsy market, no odor. It's a huge advantage for us on canvas, wall covering, and everything else, where sensitivity to that is really a big deal. Also, double backlit scrim banner that you put outside on sign faces. So heavy ink, turn on the light box, looks great. These are all translucent vinyls. Translucent vinyl to be able to print onto acrylic sign faces. They're treated like backlits, heavy ink level, Latex is outstanding on backlets. I have a whole bunch of them here. We also do backlit fabric, Sil, Natura, HP, all of your standard backlit films, your coated LED backlit films, excellent on latex. Profiles are all available. And I will leave you, oh, we can print direct to magnetic too. Direct to magnetic. Muscle Mag has 2 magnetics in there, the Digimax and the Muscle Mag, the Magna Magnetic, sorry, print direct. One is 020 for vehicles, high intensity, one is for regular use. Sunbrella awning, Sun Protects window block shades, just print directly to it. Drop down the shade, you got fully designed shading for all of your sun protection. Junkers and Mueller Opera. There's even some, you know, I've printed on this fake leather, real leather. Yeah, how they made a cow into a roll, I don't know. I don't want to see it, but they figured that out. There's even this cool stuff. It's like a peel and stick privacy film. It's called Squid. There's some other versions I'm seeing out there now too. It looks like linen. I have it in my front windows. The front windows I did with an Albrecht Dürer print, okay? Albrecht Dürer etchings, both sides. It looks like linen. It sits outside now for about 6 months. And I can see out, they can't see in. It protects the sun from coming into the room, but it allows light to be there. It's really cool. Again, out of the box with latex, printed beautiful. So I want to make sure you understand the versatility. It's easy to use. You can wear a suit while you do it. You don't get any ink on you. I don't have this big bucket of ink on the side. There's no print and purge. It doesn't clog. It's not finicky. You can spend a long weekend and not come in on Monday and be miserable trying to get all the nozzles working. All the software works seamlessly. All the software is high quality third party. We have cutter options with print and cut. If you're going to do windows, walls, and floors, you're going to need print and cut. Going to do a vehicle wrap, decals, stickers, any of that, you're going to need a cutter. We have a top of the line Suma cutter to pair with these. And all of the latex, extremely easy to operate. Enormous software support online, videos, walkthroughs, training, everything you want to know. It doesn't have white ink. It doesn't have white ink. But then again, you really don't do that much white ink printing, really. And white ink is a massive pain. We have white ink on our latex flatbeds, however, and it's the best white ink in the market. All right, that leaves me with questions. And then, well, it's 3:07 here on the East Coast. You guys are obviously on the West Coast, but it's time for me to, you know, unwind. It's Friday.
Friday the 13th, Tim.
Friday the 13th. Well, that means I'm going to call Uber right now.
Nice. So do we have any questions for Timothy while we have him here? Oh, here, I'll unmute you all.
Oh, whoa, direct questions. Whoa, ho, ho, this is democracy here. See, I do meetings, not webinars. So you can actually ask things. Everyone else at HP does a webinar where you're like locked out. The most you can do is text. So go ahead. This is democracy in action right here.
Great job on the presentation, Timothy. Always, you do a really good job, but this one especially. Short and sweet, concise, very informative.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And we recorded most of it, except for me meandering around at the beginning.
It's okay. We got the good stuff.
Everybody's unmuted, so if anybody else has questions, let us know. No questions.
Questions? Okay. Well, I'll just say that for any customers that are interested in the technology, you know, please reach out to the store manager. and ask them for any updated information or any other questions you may have, or feel free to email me. I know you have my email address on the invite that we sent out, and we'd be more than happy to help you answer any questions and support you there. And I'd like to thank you. Thanks for everyone for attending this. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Timothy.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, everybody. Have a
Okay.
great weekend. Get out in the sun.
Thank you.
Vitamin D. Vitamin D.
Exactly. Thanks.
Thanks for
Bye.
putting this together, Jaime and Linda. Good job, you guys.
You're welcome.
Great
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.